Check 1 2, check 1 2. Miami on the Rocks. Casey Chops. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at MIA on the Rocks. Follow us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Today's guest got my brother Rome from the Trth brand. What's good, my bro? How are you?
I'm good, brother. I'm blessed.
Chilling?
Thanks for having me, man.
Of course. For the people that don't know, the Trth brand is a brand here from Miami, and it's a clothing line that is making noise in the streets. You've built up the social media. You've built up the sales. You're putting, heavy resources into the marketing.
Absolutely.
And everybody wants to start a clothing line, bro. Everyone has that idea, but maybe they even start, but once they hit that first point of resistance, they give up. And you're in it, bro, through the trials and tribulations, and you actually have a profitable clothing line, apparel, however you like to theme it. Rome, thank you for pulling up.
Absolutely. Been wanting to come on, man.
Yeah, bro.
Definitely.
So I wanted to get you on because I haven't had anybody from a clothing line before, like in that industry, So I want to go through the ins and outs of your business and your story and what you have planned. Let's get into it, bro. Rome, where you from? Born and raised?
Born and raised in Queens, New York. When I was 12, 13 years old, moved to Port St. Lucie, Florida, which, if you don't know, it's about an hour and a half north of here in Miami. Real small, more like retirement type town. Did the ending part of like middle school there, did all the high school there, and then needed to go back to a big city. So for me, it was either moving back to New York or figuring something else out. I actually wanted to go to UNC Chapel Hill at the time. Only school I applied to that I didn't get in, but then I started like just touring different schools in Florida. Came to Miami and loved it, man. Probably for all the reasons everybody else does.
Yeah, fire, bro. Yeah. So you're out and about, always promoting your brand. Talk about the Trth brand, bro. Absolutely. Everyone let's start from the inception of I want to start a clothing line, right? Was that how it started?
I wouldn't say that's exactly how it started initially. When I just think back to like the beginning days of it, just kind of more to like self, if you will. Growing up, I wasn't necessarily, not that we were like poor or anything, like my parents did well, but they had like enough to give me like the essentials, Right. So I wasn't, the kid in the Jordan lines at the mall. I wasn't the kid that was, coming to school with the new designer fit or anything along those lines. So I think kind of looking out to like when I actually created the brand, a part of me just really wanted to make affordable luxury clothing, which is kind of where that aspect of it came in. But really the whole meaning behind it and like the authenticity side of it, when you're thinking of the word truth, really came from more of like a sense of being. I've always kind of felt like I've kind of taken my own path and really kind of have always been my own person, not really to be, swayed by other people, really just kind of like taking that authentic path in life. And that's where the whole name Trth came from.
Fire, bro. Yeah. And I remember because I had ideas to start a clothing line, and I asked you, bro, give me some advice. And what you said was pretty dope and pretty profound. And a lot of people probably don't even think about this when they start a clothing line. But he's like, bro, you can't just print a label and sell it. There's got to be meaning behind it. There's got to be a purpose behind it. People have to resonate with it. Can you expand a little bit on that, bro? Because like you said, you have your clothing line, your brand, but you wanted the name to have meaning tied to it. Explain that.
Yeah, 1000%. I think it's easy to just throw a dope logo on a shirt, but who's going to buy it? You know what I mean? Like your friends and family will support you to a certain extent, but how do you really hit, the heartstrings and really just hit like other people, random people who are really going to come down to it, be your biggest supporters, So I think having a meaning behind the brand gives the brand longevity. It gives it an end game, if you will. You know what I mean? And that's really what I meant when I said that. You can't just take a name and just put the name on the shirt and expect it to sell hundreds, thousands of pieces, right? But if you can really give a brand an identity and make people resonate with that, that's how you start seeing longevity out of it.
Bro. So talk about like the marketing that goes behind that, because I'm rocking your new piece right now.
Yes, sir.
The Grind Now, Shine Later, Hustle T. And yeah, we did a video for that, and I love this. It doesn't need to be explained. That's just how life works. You sacrifice now to reap the rewards later. How did you come up with that? And like we were saying, you wanted it to resonate as far as like to have weight, like the phrase.
Yeah.
And now you're going around shooting commercials with influencers and asking, like, so you have like a marketing campaign and a heavy message tied to the actual shirt, to the piece.
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, when we're thinking about this one with Grind Now, Shine Later, I just feel like that could resonate to anybody, no matter your background or come up. If you have things that you're hustling for, whether that be family, whether that be like an idea, just like an end goal in mind, you know, you're going to want to grind for it, right? You're going to put that work in. So that's where the whole slogan, grind now, shine later, kind of comes from. It's really just kind of shining light on the work that you have to put into things in order to reap those rewards and get those benefits out of it.
Gotcha.
As far as the marketing and the campaign behind that, you know, I'm really reaching out and working with a lot of different people, from influencers to successful people within their own niche, to even 9-to-5 employees that may be barbers or may work at like a, I don't know, UPS or something along those lines, because it's not necessarily what you do, it's more why you do it. You know what I mean? And if you have that thing or person that you are hustling for, I look at you as a hustler, you know?
That's real. That's real, bro. So talk about when you first start this clothing line, what is the vision for it? Is it just like, I want to start doing shirts? Did you have because first of all, you gave me some pants as well, some shorts, which are fire. I wear them all the time, the white ones and the navy blue ones. What, talk about where you're at, where your headspace is at, you know, formulating this idea and
just coming up with like
like what is the first steps you take to, because I'm sure you failed. Everyone does this starting a business. You fail a bunch of times and then you fail forward, right? And then it's like it only takes one time, right? And people don't understand, bro, you're probably gonna fail 90% of the times, but that one time you hit.
Oh yeah. The navy blue shorts.
Yeah. So talk about that, like the trials and tribulations you went starting.
Yeah, I mean, I think like starting the brand overall, when you kind of look back at the beginning and the basics, right? Like I made some of the mistakes of just putting the name on the shirt, thinking it was going to sell and thinking it was going to do this and do that. First event ever, you know, I didn't even have a website yet. Pretty much sold out of everything I bought, you know, all the merchandise I bought. Why? Because I invited a bunch of friends and family. And I was like, man, I have something here. Literally a shirt. It was all white, red. It said Truth. What did I do? I doubled down, bought double the amount of merch. I ain't sell shit. I still have some of those to this day.
Wow.
Yeah. So like, that's even kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier with the whole message behind it. That already from day one put me into a different mind space before I even had a website. You know what I mean? And I fell on my face a million times in a lot of other different ways, such as data and stuff like that I'm sure we'll talk about throughout the episode. But you know what I mean? Like seeing and kind of hitting those roadblocks, failing, those L's really stand for lessons, right? You kind of take that and learn from it and, you know, you get better from there.
You think that's like the typical path of somebody who wants to start a clothing line? Maybe they drop the first piece and it flops, and now we could get into like drop shipping and what the best method is, because, or if you're holding inventory, now you have a bunch of inventory that's not selling.
Yeah.
You bought it all thinking you were going to sell out of it because you had the high hopes. And now you're sitting with tees that are not moving, and then you quit. Right. What is that the typical path? Like how do
I think everybody's path is different. I can't necessarily put like a perfect blueprint or a way to say like, hey, we all do things the same exact way. I've seen people that have made their first design and it made 40K, you know?
Really?
Yeah. And I've seen people that make a design that I may think is really dope, but it didn't sell anything, right? Not friends, not family, not nothing. And then that's the person that just says, maybe this isn't for me, you know? I think resilience and persistence is kind of key when it comes to anything like this, because you may have a really fire piece that people just haven't seen yet, and it may go crazy a year from now, you know? And, you know, my blue paisley shorts, I can use that as an example. I brought those shorts out maybe a little bit over a year ago for the first time ever. Did decent in the beginning. It's my bestseller now to this day. And we're talking about something I probably dropped July of last year.
Wow. I do see those ads a lot for the blue shorts.
Yeah.
That's fire, bro. So, you know, what is like the first piece that you dropped that was like a success for you? And did it take a lot of times before you hit that successful piece? Like
man, I would say I guess it depends on how you define success. You know, one of my first shirts, so I dropped my first collection outside of the shirt that I mentioned that didn't go as well. I dropped my first collection April of 2022. In April of 2022, I had a tee called the Drop Time tee, and I had a tee called the Moment of Truth. Those were the two names of the tees that I had at the time. The Moment of Truth tee said Moment of Truth in the front. It was reflective, you know, just a very cool aesthetic. You would take a picture, it shined back at the camera. And then the Drop Time tee had a meaning behind it in the sense that like on the back, it had a clock, and the clock pointed to 4:01, which was like drop time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Kind of pointed to April 1st being the day that we were actually doing it. April Fool's Day, whatever you want to look at it. Yeah. So that drop itself did 3K in a weekend, you know, and me thinking, all right, hey, this is my first real drop. My website's just launching for the first time. I just bought all these tees, sold almost all of them. I just hit 3K. I'm like, man, I'm on a
both
gold mine
tees sold
here.
nice.
Yeah. They all, everything. So I think I had tees, and I want to say I had hats at the time too. I can't remember.
So how many pieces is that 3K that comes out to? Like how many shirts did you have up front that you had?
I don't remember the exact amount. We'll call it probably somewhere from 40 to 50 per design I had at the time, just trying to be conservative.
Yeah. And you sold them out.
I sold them out. And then what did I do? I bought them all again. Mistake.
Oh, thinking it was gonna.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the mistake of buying them again. I just didn't know what I was doing.
Right? Yeah, but that's the best way you could the best mistake you can make, because you know your limits on both sides now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, like, if shit goes crazy one weekend, maybe,
Yeah, I guess I looked at it as, all right, I did 3K now. I bought all this again. I could do 3K again, maybe 6K, right? So,
and maybe those people that got all those sales, they were waiting for the new drop and they would have bought it instead of getting other people. That's where dating analyzation goes. And
I didn't have an audience. You know what I mean? I wasn't collecting data. Biggest piece of advice I could probably give anybody starting a brand, period, is like start collecting data from day one. I talk back to that event that I did where I didn't have a website yet, and I sold out of those first shirts. It was a breast cancer tee that I made, and then that white and red shirt that I had made at the time. I didn't get anybody's phone numbers, no emails, no nothing. So like, you're talking about first event, no website, a bunch of random people that bought my brand. They didn't know anything about it. I'm just sitting here at a table pitching what Trth meant. They resonated with it, so they bought. Now you fast forward to, hey, now I'm dropping my first collection. Here's my website. So who sees that? Not them, because they don't know who I am. They don't have my Instagram. I don't have their email or phone number. So now my friends buy, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Friends bought, came out, showed out. I buy all the stuff again. And what do? Instagram, hey, shirts are restocked. Who's seeing it? The same friends that bought it the first time. So now who's buying it? Nobody. I'm sitting there looking at my Shopify, seeing like people come on the website, but just no sales. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit, like I have a problem.
Those are crucial lessons learned though. Like it's almost like you have to fail in that regard to 1,000%. Get that knowledge, bro.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, bro. It's funny that you say that, because I'm at a point in like I said, I'm on my fucking 15th year DJing.
Yeah.
And
one of the goats.
Now, thank you. Now is when I got girls that go with a clipboard while I'm DJing, and I take, bro, look, I have it right here. I take everybody's, just writing down everyone's name, Smart. Instagram, phone number, email. And my boy, I know I'm late, but I was trying to figure out like what platform to hold all that shit in and organize it in. And my boy put me on MailChimp.
MailChimp's one. I use Klaviyo. There's a lot of different Klaviyo.
Can you send text messages on that, Mass?
You can send text messages on there too. Yeah, I know a lot of brands, like I started putting mine together just for the sake of convenience, but a lot of brands will split it. Like once you get to a larger level, where you'll have like, let's say like a Klaviyo for email and maybe a PostScript for text. And there's a lot of other apps out there.
Okay.
But it just kind of helps you separate and like organize it a little bit better, because it's like anything, certain platforms are made for certain things. While one platform, they say, hey, we could do it all to be like a one-stop shop. They're not necessarily the experts in that other thing.
Got you. So, I mean, I'm not really up on any of this shit right now. But do you have experience with MailChimp? Like, would you prefer that one over MailChimp?
I've never used MailChimp to say, but MailChimp is such a popular name. Like, I would assume that they have the functionality and things that you would need, especially in the beginning. As you continue to go and say, all right, let me expand how I start doing my marketing outreach, you may realize MailChimp does or doesn't have a certain like functionality that you want that maybe Klaviyo or something else has. So I think that's a matter of research and really just kind of figuring out like what's going to be most important to you, because what's important to me out of text and email may not necessarily be what you want out of it.
Yeah. What do you like about it?
Out of text and email?
No, out of what, Klaviyo?
Klaviyo? Yeah. I mean, I would say between the data analytics that they have on there and really just some of the functionality, like how I'm able to really just split
simple.
People up.
Is the layout like simple or?
It could be a little complicated. Like
okay.
That side of it, honestly, I outsource. Like I have a group and a team that I work with that does all my text and email marketing. So we meet like weekly. I like to be very involved in that. But they're the experts, right? It's like kind of like what I was saying with the platform, right? I know for a fact, like, could I go there and learn it? Yes. Am I going to be the best person to do it? No.
Yeah.
And the biggest mistake that people make when they start a brand is they think they could do everything on their own, off rip.
That's real.
That was the mistake I made, like to this day, there's a lot of things I still do by myself. Am I the best at social media? Absolutely not. Am I the best at ads? No, I have somebody that does ads. I have somebody that does email and text, but I stay as involved as possible so that I know exactly what's going on. And I can learn, but I know I'm never gonna be as good at creating ads as that person.
Details is that, yeah.
Exactly.
Fire, bro.
Yeah.
And when you start a clothing line, there's so many routes you could take as far as drop shipping. Do you want to hold the stock and ship it from your location?
Yeah.
What have you tried drop shipping? What do you recommend, or what do you see in as far as that goes?
I've done a lot, man. So I've drop shipped. I'll talk about that. That's a little bit different of a process in terms of how I did it. I have a friend that he owns like an actual print company. So I drop shipped through him because of a relationship and I trusted it. I've seen people drop ship through like the Printifies and stuff like that. Not that it's bad if you're just trying to get product out there and not necessarily care about the quality, but it's a completely different route than like maybe doing cut and sew or having like all your stuff in-house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're gonna no one's gonna package your brand and make it look nice and make sure it's all the, you know, everything is like of quality.
They'll do it, but it's at a premium. Like, you know, I guess to kind of go into some of the specifics, let's say you're selling like a $25 shirt. For you to do all the stuff, the branding and everything through a drop ship company like that, it may cost you $24, $23 just to make that one shirt. So, you know, does that make sense at that point?
Yeah. So you prefer to keep your inventory where you're at?
I do it all in-house for the most part. I mean, let me rephrase. So I have manufacturers that I work with, and then I keep all of my inventory in-house. I don't do drop shipping. I don't have anybody that mails it for me, at least not yet, you know, maybe in the future. But right now I have my own little warehouse that I have inside my crib, inside of my office, that I set up with racks and everything. And that's how I do all of my shipping and just like my fulfillment. I have done the pre-order route before too. It's not bad. It's just you have to know down to like the second that everything's going to get there, just to be very strategic and timeline on how you do it. Because the last thing you want is to tell people, hey, it's going to ship out by this date, and it takes a week, and then a week after that, and then a week after that. And now you have people doing chargebacks and trying to get their money back because they think you're scamming them, especially in the beginning.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
As far as pieces go, you do shorts, you do shirts. Is there anything, you know, alternative or any like kind of anything on your mind as far as like another type of piece to sell?
I've done a few things. So I sell socks. I've done hats in the past, but I'm kind of rebranding how the hats were at the time. Obviously, do the shirts. I do the shorts. I've done sweats. Have hoodies and stuff coming out for the fall here and getting into winter. Alternative, I think, you know, when I kind of continue to brand myself as like an affordable luxury company, I think there are going to be different pieces that hit more of like that luxury mold outside of the norm, right? That could be things such as vests. It could be additional things such as like bags. Like I did the crossbodies at one point, especially when that was very popular. So I have a lot of, bro, my brain is just always kind of like just running at 1,000 miles.
Is that a good thing? And is that a bad thing as well? Because like
it's a blessing.
You want so many, you have so many ideas.
Yeah. It's a blessing and a curse. And I think it plagues me a little bit now, you know, like when you're first branding yourself. I've been in the game now going on 3 years, right? At this point, while I am getting a name out there for myself, and while the brand is starting to really pick up steam, I feel like what I could have probably done a lot differently from the beginning is really focus more on just one design. But again, just the brain that I had at the time and loving everything that I was creating, I was like, man, let me put out all 5 of these shirts. Let me throw out all 5 of these shorts and these hats and these socks.
Yeah.
Now you start limiting yourself because like capital, right? That's a big thing up front. If I'm saying, hey, I have this much money that I could spread to get all these different items, I can only maybe get 20 of each. Whereas maybe if this one tee was going to be a hit, I could have got 100 of that tee.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And now, boom, people start loving that tee. They know the brand. Now I drop the socks. People want to buy the socks because they like the tee. Now they want to buy the shorts. But I kind of just put a lot of things out there. And I don't think it's a bad thing. Again, I learned from it. And now I kind of know how to move forward when it comes to different drops. And I'm very strategic with it. But you know, that's probably something that had I done that differently from the beginning, I feel like maybe there would have been a little bit more of like a step to success, if you will.
Is it safe to say that the shirts perform the best? Or
shorts, man? At least
shorts,
for me, yeah.
Wow.
You know, it's funny. I always get envious sometimes of people who like put out a shirt and the shirt goes crazy. My shirts hit. Yeah. Man, my shorts are just like at a different level. It could be winter and people are just buying my shorts.
Bro, the shorts are of good quality,
Appreciate
bro.
That. Yeah.
Now that I think about it, because you know what, bro? You could wear those shorts to the gym.
Yeah.
You could wear them to just like chill around the crib.
Yep.
You could wear them out and about, like, you know what I mean? Like they fit all, like there's like athletic shorts, but they're kind of not too, you know what I mean? Like,
and I think you actually have my OGs. So I actually switched the whole design around. So I used to have just a single ply like mesh shorts. Now I have what I call the Lux shorts, if you were to see them on my website. And the whole purpose behind them being Lux, I was thinking back to like, all right, if I'm looking at myself as a luxury merchandise company, right? And people want to, let's say, wear my shorts to go hoop or to the gym or whatever the case might be, am I putting the right quality out there, right? Because you look at like Rude, for example. Is somebody going to wear Rude shorts to go work out? Maybe at Boxer or something like that, right? Maybe you'll see it at one of the influencer gyms out here.
Fashion show. Man.
Yeah. You'll see it. I saw somebody working out in an All Saints shirt the other day, and like, you know, just some of those shirts
crazy.
That you'll see.
They'll have
like,
Balenciaga Louis backpacks and shit, like by the machines. I'm like, bro,
it's crazy. But like, you know, I was thinking, all right, if I'm trying to brand myself the right way, how do I get people to wear in those elements? You know, if you go to a club, if you go to live in Miami, how do you start seeing Trth everywhere the way you see Balenciaga and whatnot? So that's when I started moving from, okay, hey, I have these, Bella Canvas or whatever these other tees are on the baseline. And I started going more of like the luxury heavyweight route. So I did it with the shorts too. Because again, if you're thinking of hooping, you may want the lightest shorts possible. Now, if I double mesh them and they're 9 ounces and they're heavy on you, you're going to feel like you're wearing, $500 shorts on your waist, right? The way you would with, Rude or shorts you buy Kith or whatever the case might be. I wanted to really brand myself in that similar way. So
yeah, I like to add like your ad campaigns and like the way you approach the marketing as far as like just what I see on the Instagram ads, they got like you have models that you deal with too, right? But then
I do.
Talk about that, like your whole approach to just the photo shoots and how you want to just put the brand out.
1000%. I try to find people as much as I can that kind of fit the message and the mold of the audience. You know what I mean? Like again, I look at affordable luxury. I look at people that, maybe grew up like me or came up like me that, weren't necessarily, as well off again to go buy whatever the hell it is that they wanted, right? So I don't look at, hey, who's the most established model in Miami? Who am I looking for? I'm looking for the up and comers. So I'll work with, a model I may meet at a fashion show that's trying to make ends meet. Maybe they work, as a personal trainer at a store or whatever the case might be. People that are really hustling, people that are really grinding, like that's the people that I want modeling my stuff in those shoots. And it's worked out well, right? We always have a good dynamic. I try to mix it up as much as I can, but I've been blessed and fortunate to come across a lot of like really dope, creative people and models that have been a part of these campaigns.
Fire, bro. Do you I guess it's unisex, right? Both. Like, do you see yourself like dialing more in with the ladies, like making
I do. I've had a lot of requests about it, so I apologize, ladies. I promise I got something like specific for y'all, but I've tried to make it as unisex as possible, bringing it all the way down to like even just the sizing, right? If I have like the smaller ladies or even sometimes the men, right, that may need like, because I do a lot of oversized stuff, may need the extra smalls. For people that are a little bit larger, I go up to 3X. And then if you're looking at my oversized stuff, those 3Xs fit a 4X. So I actually have like a large crowd of people that do buy, my larger sizes that I have too. So, it's really for everybody, when you're thinking of like shapes, sizes, genders, whatever the case might be. But yeah, I do see myself in the future when I'd say space and time allows it, if you will, to say, hey, okay, I have this shirt, but I also may have this crop top, or I got these biker shorts or whatever.
Yeah. I think now that I'm thinking about it, bro, like with your approach with messaging and having weight behind it, it would probably hit more with women.
It could.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're 2/3 of the consumers, bro. Yeah, bro. Women be consuming online, bro. I get a
lot of women that buy for their men. When I do pop-up shops, 9 times out of 10, my customers are women. Why? Because they come there, either they want it for themselves or they're like, oh, my boyfriend would love this. My husband would love this.
Like they saw the ad. Like, do you see like the like as far as gender comparison goes, do you see that in the ads? Like, is it, I'm sure it's mostly men. Like
when you dive deep into the analytics, you can get into the nitty gritty of age, demographics, like background, color, all that, ethnicities. And then, you can see, I think there's some that go into gender, but I don't know how much it is in terms of like gender, in terms of viewership, as much as like if I want to target a gender. If that makes sense.
Got you.
Yeah.
Do you, as far as marketing goes, do you see, if you want to say what your most successful marketing platform is and what generates the most sales for you, but is Instagram one of the main ones, or how do you allocate your marketing budget toward what?
Yeah, I would say right now, I know TikTok's really popular. I haven't had the success on TikTok that others have had yet, and I'm still working on that. We're running a lot of campaigns there to kind of see what avenue hits. But right now, I would say between like the whole Instagram, Facebook platform, so Meta, I run all my ads for the most part through like the Meta ad system right now. And you'll see it firing off. You may be looking at like, now they got stories on Facebook, right? You may be looking at stories on Facebook, see an ad pop up. You may be scrolling, looking at whose birthday it is. Is it Dean's birthday or something like that? Boom, it pops up. But then you're on Instagram, the same thing, right? You're scrolling through your feed. You may see it there as a post, or you may be going through stories and see it there. So a lot of different avenues. I'll say that like it kind of can arise on your phone or your laptop.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen it, bro, in so many different places, bro.
Yeah.
Probably just Facebook and
we're trying to get it out there, man. Just trying to.
But it's good to know that like that's effective. Like, so you're saying it's worth it.
It is.
Like the amount you're investing in the Meta platform, it's worth it to you.
Brother, I'll tell you, I had a downturn earlier this year, and I'm very open, so I could talk about this. In December or so, somebody hacked my Facebook and my ads account. So you're talking, I was going from, year one did decent. I probably did like somewhere around like 15 grand or something like that in sales. Year two, rounding out, in October, November, December, right? Getting into holidays, Black Friday, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to really double down here into this ads thing and really trying to make everything hit, right? Because when the people shop the most holidays. So I had my first like 5 or 6K month. I want to say it was around like the Black Friday weekend. Like just that whole weekend itself probably did like more than half the month just then. Now rounding into December, I'm like, man, I'm going to hit this for Christmas and stuff hard. So I tripled down into these sweatsuits I had at the time. I'm on a cruise, bro. 9 a.m. in the morning, I get like a message on my phone saying your password was changed, your email was changed, your phone number was changed. Somebody hacked me while I was on a cruise. So I didn't even really have the means to like contact them.
That's
to
crazy,
get all my shit
bro.
back. I couldn't change passwords, nothing. So now you fast forward, I didn't get my account back till probably like May. So when you look at January until then, I had 0 days. I had months that were less than $1,000 in sales. And I'm stressing out because I'm like, do I have to get rid of this?
Yeah.
You know? Like I didn't know what I was going to do, to be honest with you. So I finally found a way to get it back, paid somebody, they ended up helping me get the platform back and getting my my account back. And from there, I was really able to like just go as crazy as I could. I was like, you know what, this was working for me. Let me triple down. And I had my first, what was it, 13K, I think, from there.
Do you, if you get like a new piece, do you just put the whole budget right behind one campaign, or do you put a little bag and then wait to see how it goes, put another little bag, or like
I let my ads girl handle that, man. She's real.
Oh, okay, so that's right.
Yeah, shout out Bree, man. She knows what she's doing with that. Like she's just way smarter when it comes to budget allocation. She does a lot of A/B testing and, you know, kind of figuring out like, hey, what are the creatives that hit? Like I'll give you an example. Let's say the shorts, right? We may take 10 different photos, test those at a certain amount of dollars per day. Whichever photo starts performing the most or the best, that's the one you start putting more money behind. And Facebook or Meta has like a lot of algorithms behind it that kind of starts like allocating that budget. So you may have a campaign that we'll call it $50 a day for the sake of this conversation. And, you know, throughout those 10 photos, you would think, oh, each one's going to get $5, right? Nah, one may get 20 and the other ones may get like $2 each or something like that. And that's really just depending on like, how is the audience receiving those images when
the cream is going to rise to the to the top?
Exactly. And then from there, now you say, okay, this is the high performing creative. Let me put that in a real campaign and put some real money behind it.
Yeah. Do things get, because you're shipping everything, right?
Yeah, I ship everything myself.
Do things get overwhelming as far as that goes in that department?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, right? Because I mean, like, give me a number of like orders that you've had maybe after a long weekend that you're like, damn, I got to ship, what is it, 100 things? Or like,
I haven't had like a crazy 100 order weekend yet, but I've been at like the 50s plus, you know what I mean? Where it's like, you're like, damn, because I mean, you think about it, bro, even 10 orders, you know, if you have like a bunch of stuff in each order, it could take you a little bit. Now you look at 20, 30, 40 plus. It took me a little while to pack all that. And that's, you know, you're coming from not really packing much, right? Before the account got hacked, not really packing much to all of a sudden, boom, you have this
30,
like 20,
like
30 order day, you know, and you're like, how the hell do I do
you just
this?
pack them up and just come with like, carry all 30 of them in a bag and just drop them off at the post office.
Yeah, I got like these little plastic bags that I pretty much bought off Amazon, and I put all the orders in there, and sometimes I have 2 of them. They look like suitcases, like duffel bags.
Fire, but the wrapping, that's another thing, bro, is that your pieces, the way you do the wrapping and the way you bag them and the way you just, you know, the packaging is important, bro, and you definitely have that all, you know, it's clean, bro. How do you deal with that? Like,
I'm glad you say that, man. I think, now I'll be very clear when I say this. I think branding is everything when it comes to just your overall brand, period, right? And as repetitive as that sounds, there's a lot of mentors out there, a lot of people out there that will say, don't waste money on bags, don't waste money on this, on wristbands, whatever. Like, I think at the end of the day, the more you can put yourself out there with the branding, the packaging, the bags, and just like, people just consistently, what's that number that it's like the law of sevens, right? People just consistently seeing the brand name, the logos over and over and over again. It's going to just become like routine for them. They're going to see now the TB logo and be like, oh, that's Truth. They're going to see the Truth logo and be like, oh, that's Truth also. You know what I mean? So I really wanted to make sure that the branding hit on that luxury side as well. Because I couldn't just throw a bunch of clear bags out there and say, hey, you know, here's your $60, $70 shorts. You know, here's your luxury shorts, but I'm not putting any effort on my end into like making you feel like luxury when you open them. You know,
fire, bro.
Yeah.
Is that process tough? Like as far as the packaging goes, like
my manufacturers, man, they do a hell of a job.
Oh, so you got the team, bro?
Yeah. I got the manufacturing team, and what they'll do, they'll fold, pack, tag everything for me, and then you know the biggest thing for me when I get everything in is just inventory, right? And that's probably the toughest part, like taking everything out, counting it, making sure there's no mistakes, because you're gonna have like a screen print that gets messed up from time to time, or something that's not the right size. So you know, that's a part of the game, right? Those errors are going to happen. It's never going to be 100%
Yeah, for sure.
But that side of it, man, I pay for convenience, right? Again, kind of going back to it, like, do I think I could do it all on my own? Yeah, sure. I could sit there and say, hey, I got 300 shorts. Let me fold and pack them myself.
Yeah.
But hell no, I'm not. Yeah.
Fire,
It's not the best use of your time as an owner.
Yeah. What's the vision for the future, bro? So, you know, you said you're 3 years into this.
Yeah.
And now it's profitable, right? Now it's explain that, bro. Like what's the vision? What do you see for the future?
When I look at the future of the brand, man, I think it's just continued expansion from here. You know, I think what I'm focused on right now is building out that team again, like that whole mentality and not trying to do everything myself. I have, you know, those key individuals that I really count on to kind of make the brand run from a marketing perspective. But now it's taking it to the next level. Like I'm seeking out currently, I've been doing a lot of interviews for an intern for like social media and stuff, just to have somebody running that aspect of it. You know, I'm moving into hopefully soon a warehouse where I'm going to have like more space, because that's another thing. You know, I was able to turn my office. I bought like all these different racks and whatnot. It looks crazy, just like organized. You know what I mean? Like compared to how it was before, I had them in bins. It was just not efficient. But just continuously looking to improve processes, I would say, because that's key. Like every business, every brand especially needs processes, because without that,
you need systems that make everything seamless. You need systems,
exactly, that make everything work, right? If something was to happen to me today, who could run it tomorrow, right? If I have that system in place, you just got to read it, or you just got to like understand how that works and take it from there. And then putting the right people in the right places, like I mentioned, you know, making the team work, make the dream work.
Fire, bro.
Yeah.
Fire. Rome, I appreciate you pulling up.
Of course, brother.
Plug all the social media, all the you know.
Definitely. So Instagram, it's at TRTH brand _. And then we have Twitter at TRTH brand. And that's really all I really use, man. TikTok, I guess, as well.
I got to get on TikTok more, man. I stay.
Man, I'm 33, bro. Like the socials, I try,
it's
but I'm
hard,
not gonna lie. It's
bro.
tough to keep up with.
We have no choice, bro. I'm telling you.
But that's why I'm trying to bring somebody in to do social, because I know I'm not the best person for it. You know, I do it for now because at the end of the day, I'm trying to make the brand as successful as possible. So I sacrifice.
Right. But
I know it's not me, you know, long term, right? My role is going to be to be the head of the snake and having all these different.
Delegate everything.
Yeah, all these different arms, if you will, you know, that are kind of. Yeah, that I'm delegating to, you know, that are able to make the whole vision just come alive.
Got you. Seamless. What for anyone that wants to start a clothing line, they have the idea. What's some advice you could give them?
Get a mentor. I think that's key for any industry. Period. You know, if you want to do anything in this world, in this life, don't be afraid to like humble yourself and say, hey, I don't know anything about this. Let me find somebody that does, that could help me along the way. And I know sometimes it could be expensive. It doesn't have to be. But just really trying to get somebody that knows more about it than you do to really put you on game so that you don't fall into all the pitfalls that we fall into when we first start. Yeah, if I had a mentor from day one, I can't tell you how many mistakes I probably could have avoided. But damn, you got to learn the hard way sometimes. Rome, I appreciate you pulling up, bro. My boy.
Miami on the rocks.
KC Chops, boy.